The purpose of this video is to help you create your database, your tables, your fields, and set your metadata and enter your data. To begin, you should have your corrected entity relationship diagram in front of you, something that looks like this. It should have 3 entities. Each entity should have a minimum of 5 attributes. Remembering that combined fields like name and address are considered 1, and that I don't count the primary and foreign keys in that 5. You should also have the metadata, that is the type of data and the field length for each of your fields. So to begin, you will start Access, and although there are many templates available, and one of them might even be similar to what you're doing, we are going to create a blank database. And this is the point at which you give it your name, and I always want you to name it with your last name, first name. In the real world, of course, it would be named according to what the database would be used for, like an accounting database, for example. And click Create. Don't forget where it's being placed. So you'll notice right away that Microsoft Access looks very much like a lot of the other Microsoft Office tools, where it has menu items across the top. We are going to primarily be using File, Home, Create. We'll be in Create quite a bit, and Database Tools. So you'll notice that we automatically start with a table. And the default name is going to be Table 1. So looking at our entity relationship diagram, I'm going to start with my first table, which is going to be my university table. And let me swap to that. And I'm going to create the university table, and I am going to add all of these fields right here, including the university ID, which is the primary key, and I am going to set the metadata for all of these. So this is called Table View, which looks just like a spreadsheet, and actually that's what tables are. I'm going to start by changing the names, and I'm going to put university name, or university ID, I'm sorry. And that's going to be my primary key. Click on the next field, which is going to be my university address. And let me go back to this field. Now I'm ready to create my next field, which is going to be university name, and it's going to be short text. Click on the next one, which is university address, also short text, and so on. To keep this video nice and short, I am not going to add all of the fields, city, state, zip, president, last, president, first, website, and date established, but you would continue clicking to add, deciding on the type of metadata that you want, the type of field data that's going to be in that field, until you were through adding all the fields. But for the time being, I'm going to click on the tab, and I'm going to right-click Save, right-click, Close, but I need to rename it, so I'm going to right click, rename university. So at this point, what you've already seen is just table view. I'm going to click on university and open it, and over on the left I'm going to go into design view, and this is the place where I'm going to be allowed to change the metadata. As you can see down at the bottom is where the metadata is located. I'm not going to change university ID auto number because that's what I need it to be. University name is short text, but if you'll notice down at the bottom, it's way too big. We don't need that much space. I'm going to change it to 40. And university address down at the bottom, I'm going to change that to 40 also. And then right click save and right click close. Now I'm ready to create my second table, which is going to be classes. So click on create table, and once again we're going to double click on the ID and we're going to change it to class ID. Then click to the next field, which is going to be class name, short text. And I'll add one more. Actually, this is going to be a very, very critical field. This field is the foreign key. Now remember, always begin the name of each field or column number, or column, the columns are fields, with the name of the table, which is going to be class in this case. So this, being the foreign key, is going to be numeric, and it's going to be class, university, ID. And once again, we're going to go to design view. Here's an opportunity for us to rename it to class. We never change the primary key. It's always going to be auto number, but class name certainly doesn't need to be 255, so we're going to change that to 40. And the foreign key is always and forever going to be numeric because it's directly related to the primary key, and that's numeric. So right click save and right click close. And on to the third table. Double click on the ID, and we're going to call this a student ID. Tab over, and our next field is going to be student last name, and the next field is going to be short text, student first name. There we go. Let's go into design view, and that gives us an opportunity to name this to student. Once again, never change the primary key, but last name, short text is fine, but that's way too long. Last name, our first name, maybe 30. And you'll notice that I forgot a field, the foreign key. So I can enter it here. STU class ID. And it's not short text, it's always going to be numeric. So right click close, save, and right-click Close. So you can see over on the left that we have 3 tables. There are many universities. Each university has many classes, and each class has many students. We're not quite ready to establish our relationships just yet. Let's take this opportunity to go ahead and enter some data, starting with university. We can enter the data in Datasheet view. It's very easy to do. We're going to skip over the university ID because once we hit enter, it's going to automatically number it because the field type is auto number. So we're going to call this one UT just to make things quick, and we're going to put this 123 any street. Now, once enter, it's already given me a number. We're going to enter another one, UCF 255 any street. And we'll do one more. UF 505 any street. And that's good. Now, remember, you have to have a minimum of 5 records in your very first table. And of course, you're going to have at least 6 columns because I don't count the primary key, which is university ID. I'm just abbreviating this to make it quicker. All right, universities have classes. So let's open up the class table. And the first class, ITM220B. Now you have to think very carefully because this is the foreign key. It's very, very important. This represents the words belongs to. So this class ITM220B, which university does it belong to? You don't put the university name, you put the primary key. I'm going to put University 1. Whoops. Because that's UT. Now I'm going to just make up your data. And that also is going to belong to University 1. This one is going to belong to University 2. And this is also going to belong to University 2. All right, we're going to have another class. This is going to belong to University 3, which is UF. And that's also going to belong to University 3. Now you'll notice the foreign keys here. 1, 1. There are 2 classes that belong to the first university. These 2 here, there are 2 classes that belong to the second university, and there are 2 classes that belong to the third university. And once again, we would have this 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. And once again, across the top here, we would have a lot more columns, at least 5, not including the primary key or the foreign key, and remembering that combined fields like first name, last name are just counted as 1. So right-click Save and right-click Close. Now note that we have classes 1 through 6. Therefore, the foreign keys for student are going to be 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6 for a total of 12 records. Okay, so we're just going to make up names here. And Bugs Bunny belongs to or is attending the first class. As is Roadrunner. He's attending the first class. And then we will continue to fill this out. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6. So as you can see now, I have 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, actually 3 4s, 5, 5, and 6, 6. Those are my foreign keys, and if we look up classes, you'll see that they correspond to the primary key in class. And that is the very heart, the very fundamental of your understanding of databases. So let's go back to student. Now remember that you are going to have across the top many more columns, at least 5, not including the primary key and the foreign key, and columns such as name I consider 1, right? And so just think of it this way. In university, there are 3 records. And if each university has at least 2 classes, 3 times 2 is 6, right? So class should have 6 records at least. And if each class has got 2 students at least, 6 times 2 is 12. And we actually had an extra. So that's really all there is to creating your tables, your fields, and setting the metadata. The very last thing we have to do is establish the relationships. So I'm going to hit close all and go to database tools, relationships. And so I'm going to take university, which is my first table, and add it. And class, which is my second table, and add it. And student, which is my third one, and add it and close. And don't worry if you get these wrong, you can always move them around. So obviously yours is going to have a lot more fields in it. But this is how you establish relationships, and it's very, very simple. The very first field is always going to be your primary key, and you see that there's a little key next to it. So all you do is click and hold and drag over the foreign key, which is class university ID. These are related. So here I go. Click and drag and drop. And you'll see university ID is related to class university ID. The last thing is to enforce referential integrity and create. And you'll see that there is a one-to-many relationship. Ditto for class to student class. Enforce referential integrity, create. And right-click save and right-click close. Now always remember to save as, save your database as your last name, first name, Galusha Jill. Save it, and don't forget where you put it. And then completely get out of access. And then you can upload your database to the assignment. So that's all there is.